Most people overpay for car insurance, not because they're careless, but because switching feels like too much hassle. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry compares rates side by side from over 50 top insurers and helps you switch with ease. Jerry even tracks market rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Switch with confidence. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/Libsyn today. That's JERRY.ai/LIBSYN.
It's Friday, July 17th, 2026, and this is the Washington Times front page. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Renewed fighting between the U.S. and Iran is now a week old, with both nations' militaries ramping up their attacks on sensitive facilities. Von Caucane and Tom Howe report Iranian state-affiliated media reported strikes on an Iranian island in the Strait of Hormuz, as well as a port city on Iran's southern coast from U.S. missiles. Authorities reported no casualties or structural damage. U.S. Central Command said the strikes targeted command and control centers, air defenses, and domestic security facilities. The command said the latest attacks, like other U.S. strikes over the past week, were intended to weaken Iran's ability to interfere with commercial shipping in the strait. President Trump used a primetime televised address to elevate his years-long push to raise doubts about the legitimacy of U.S. elections in an appeal for more restrictive voting laws. Jeff Murdoch and Stephen Dinan report the president said he was declassifying intelligence documents to back up the claims about foreign governments buying or stealing some 220 million names of registered voters from states' rolls. Trump's used the remarks to justify his push to pass a strict voter ID bill in Congress that hasn't advanced because it lacks enough support from his fellow Republicans. The Department of Homeland Security has announced it's made it easier for officers to block green card applications from immigrants who claimed welfare. Stephen Dinan reports Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin said the goal is to enforce federal law that requires immigrants to pay their own way and allows the government to reject immigrants who are in danger of becoming a public charge. The change will not block legal immigrants from applying for welfare, but it does serve as a warning that claiming benefits could hurt their chances if they eventually apply for a green card. The Homeland Security Department said the change, which takes effect in September, could save the government more than $110 billion over the next decade if immigrants forego welfare benefits to avoid jeopardizing their residency status. Workforce experts say recent media reports about high demand for philosophers to train artificial intelligence programs in ethics are likely more hype than reality. Carnegie Mellon University Associate Teaching Professor of Business Ethics Derek Lieben told our Sean Salide that this is both a real trend and also overhyped. He noted recent estimates that philosophy-related jobs account for about 5% of AI positions, while AI-related jobs comprise 26% of philosophy jobs. The New York Times reported this month some AI companies are paying professional philosophers $250,000 to $400,000 a year to translate traditional moral systems into constitutional rules for AI users and chatbots to discuss ethical dilemmas. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's ouster of Defense Minister Mikhailo Fedorov after just 6 months has triggered a backlash in the country. Guillaume Patak reports Fedorov was brought in January, charged with implementing the data-heavy approach he had used as digital transformation minister to expand Ukraine's drone industry and digitize other government departments. His tenure ended abruptly this week as part of a broader cabinet reshuffle. Zelensky had been expected to nominate Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko to succeed Fedorov, but he reportedly declined the post amid public protests over Fedorov's ouster. And finally, Seth MacLachlan profiles the two millennial leaders of the Democratic Socialists of America, one of the most powerful grassroots forces in the Democratic Party. Megan Romer and Ashik Sadiq, the DSA national co-chairs, came to socialism as part of a generational wave of young activists frustrated with a Democratic Party they see as dominated by big money donors and drifting away from working class struggles. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.
Summer is here, At Orderly Meds, we know this time is a reminder that life is full of new beginnings. Whether you're celebrating the nice weather, starting a new chapter, planning a vacation, or simply looking ahead to what's next, this season can be the perfect time to invest in yourself and your health. If you've struggled with weight loss and are curious about GLP-1 medications, Orderly Meds can help you learn about your options. Through a simple virtual process, you can connect with licensed medical professionals who can determine whether treatment may be appropriate for you. Getting started is fast, convenient, and happens online from the comfort of home. This summer, consider a new approach to feeling your best. Visit orderlymeds.com/podcast to learn more. That's orderlymeds.com/podcast. orderlymeds.com/podcast. Because every new season is an opportunity to take the next step forward. Compounded medications are not FDA approved. Eligibility required and determined by a licensed provider. Individual results may vary. See website for details.